My garbage person of the week, I guess technically is Joe Biden, although it's gonna include more than just him. But let's start off with this video and we'll get into why.
And thanks to the bill Congress passed and one I'm about to sign, we've spared the country that catastrophe. At the same time, we ensured workers are going to get a historic 24% wage increase over the next 5 years, improved working conditions, and peace of mind around their health care. And look, I know this bill doesn't have paid sick leave that these rail workers and frankly every worker in America deserves. But that fight isn't over. I didn't commit we were going to stop just because we couldn't get it in this bill that we were going to stop fighting for it. I've supported paid sick leave for a long time. I'm going to continue that fight till we succeed.
Okay, so that is Joe Biden, the most pro-union president ever, they say. I guess we have to infer that because we're not seeing a demonstration of it. They have, of course, averted a railroad strike. Averted is such an interesting word in this context. Like making it illegal is such an interesting way to avert it. But anyway, look, Biden obviously is going along with this, both in terms of signing the bill that was sent to him, but also thus far showing no indication that he's going to use any sort of executive power to get those sick days, those paid sick days passed. But it isn't just him, it's so many other people. It's people like Joe Manchin, who literally just voted against adding the sick. It's almost every single Republican, although we will have to give credit to people like Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham, John Kennedy, and Mike Braun. I'm even going to assume
you do not have to give it to them.
Why? Because
all they're doing is saying unions suck because leadership kowtows. And I am voting.
Sure, but if the vote had succeeded, then in the end it would have been the same from the point of view of the worker. Look, by the way, maybe they wouldn't have voted this way if they didn't.
Fundamental misunderstanding of Senate politics.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the point of view of what the actual result would have been had it passed.
They would never have done that had they known.
I understand that, but you literally cut me off in the middle of saying this is if we can assume that they actually would have voted had they known that the numbers weren't there to kill it anyway. Sorry. I agree with that. I have in fact been paying attention to politics for a few weeks. But anyway, look, it's something. Anyway, the vast majority voted against it. Even more, an even higher percentage of Republicans in the House voted against it. And obviously with the 2-track thing in the House, look, if you want to get mad at a lot of the Democrats too, including members of the squad, there's a lot of people who failed here. At the end of the day though, while yes, there are some good things coming from this, including the big pay increase, 1 extra day of regular paid leave. How is it possible that there could be no paid sick leave? The most amazing thing about all of this is they say everyone, this has to happen because if they were to strike, it could do $2 billion of economic damage per day. That is said to scare you. But at the same time, one could hear that and take from that, oh, those people, those workers are even more essential than I thought because apparently their labor is worth a $2 billion hit on a daily basis. And these railroad companies, many of which are seeing massive profits right now, 100% could afford to give them the absolute bare minimum of sick leave as we are literally still in a pandemic, but it's not gonna happen. And everybody's best efforts right now is maybe at some point, maybe another round of negotiations, maybe Biden will do something. It's paid sick leave. How is this controversial literally at all?
Yeah, it's Biden saying, yeah, I can take the hit politically.
Yeah,
on my side. That's what it is. It's a political calculation, and he's made everyone's right in what they're saying. He's right that there will be a giant economic fallout if he doesn't be presidential. Because when he was in the Senate, he was for stuff like this.
Yeah,
or he was against the thing that they did. He was the opposite of what he's doing now.
Yeah, and by the way, like if they. First of all, this makes the strike illegal. It doesn't make it so that they can't strike. It makes it much less likely because they don't want to be thrown in prison. And it's insane that a worker would have their fundamental ability to organize for their own economic interest criminalized in this way. That's insane. But anyway, like if it would not have been 6 weeks of a strike because they're so essential, because the economic hit would be so big. But yeah, he's gun shy, he's scared, or doesn't support them in the way that he would have you believe that he did a long time ago. So anyway, he and many others are my garbage people of the week. That said, 55,000 of you voted for the community garbage person of the week this year, and here is your top 5. Coming in at number 5 with 11% of the vote is Elon Musk for letting the worst people back on Twitter, although at least he did get rid of Kanye West eventually. Tied for 3rd and 4th, you've got at 13% of the vote, the GOP for continuing to fearmonger about the LGBTQ+ community in the wake of the Club Q shooting, and Arizona Republicans for refusing to certify the election results, although they have now certified them after the judge said they had to do it. They have actually done it. Number 2, with 22% of the vote, is the Club Q shooter's dad for saying we don't do gay after the attack, Jesus. But number 1, not too surprising, with 41% of the vote, Nick Fuentes and Kanye sharing the dishonor. Do we really need to explain why? I think we've done a pretty good job of that already. Thank you to everyone who voted.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.